Welcome to Weisman training videos. Today we're going to cover dusting. So there's two ways of dusting. I'm going to show you both. One is wet with a bucket, and like we wash down everything in there. We do want to do that from time to time, wash down everything. But this first part, I'll start with Windex method, which is what most of us think of when we dust. My husband Jim likes to use a feather duster, so he often has this feather sticking out of his back pocket, which there is a time and a place for that too. Okay, so you have many ways that you can dust. So a lot of people like using Windex and a rag. This is the least expensive way to dust. This is more for glass cleaning because it's a foam and it doesn't run down the glass. This is way more expensive, so just save this for when you really need it. And then we can wash it down with the bucket like we do every other room. And then you have tools such as this Swiffer extension. That's about as crazy as it's going to get. It can bend around and do different things too. Just make sure you change it often enough. And then my husband's favorite, the feather duster. So when you feather duster, this is not the Jetsons. We don't go like this everywhere. You want to you would simply sweep it like that. And then when you get it loaded with dust, you bang it down low on your leg. So this is kind of nice for dusting surfaces that are hard to reach. So this glass top, we're going to show you the Windex method here, but the glass top is nice because you can simply put that Swiffer right in there and clean that way. If you are vertically challenged, you can use the duster to reach higher spots. You know, it's not always good to go super fast. These lights too are going to have dust on the actual wire that holds them too. Okay, so that's how you can use that. You can use it for short and long distances or tall areas. All right, so this is the Windex method. Obviously for this area you don't want to wash with soap and water because it's going to leave too much water on the surface. So you can do a couple different ways. I like spraying the rag, and then you're going to lift and set. Just remember where you put things, so don't move it completely off. You also want to dust. This is tells you when you come to a clinic if they're on the phone, but you just dust whatever's in front of you. So lift and set. Oops, I just signed someone's contract. So that's how you do that. Just an example. It's not really, you think it's not really challenging because it's not, but again, you're going to lift and set. Now let's take you around and show you how to wash surfaces with a bucket. How would that look when you're dusting? Ready? So now I'm going to show you mostly how to use the bucket. Obviously you can't get water on your monitors. This building is cleaned every single day, so you do not have to clean the monitors every single day. If you were going to clean this monitor, which I'll show you how I would do it, you never, ever, never directly spray a monitor. So think about it too. If it was your house, your computer, what would you do? We also don't move papers if we don't have to. These ladies keep their office desktops pretty tidy, which is great. They get a better cleaning. But here's how we would do a monitor. You could use very little product. Get that on your rag, and then you can just lightly go over that, not pushing very hard. So that's one way you could do it. You also could use your feather duster and go over it very calmly, like a sane person. And then you can go back to your bucket. Here's also, I don't know if you can see this, but, oh, the microphone's there, but you can hang your Windex on your pocket, and then you can put your rag in your other pocket and carry it around with you that way. All right, so we're gonna wring this out super good. This rag is really brand new and plush, so it kind of holds a lot of water, so you gotta wring it out really good. I'm going to put this aside, just don't kick it. Also for ergonomics, set your buckets up on a taller surface so you're not bending down to the ground if you don't have to. So there's a counter right behind me. I'm probably going to set this bucket over there. Again, I'm going to fold it into 4 sections. Please hold. So I'm going to put this in 4 sections. Again, that gives me 8 clean sides to clean with. And I'm just going to start from one end and go to the other. This is wrung out as well as I possibly could. You don't want excess water. Again, we lift and set. So here's a great example. Every place has this cardboard. If you put it on a wet surface, again, it's going to stick to the surface. We don't want that. So I'm just going to brace it up like that. They're going to come to work, think, A, nothing, or B, what a weirdo. She left the Kleenex. I don't care what they think. I don't want the cardboard stuck to the countertop. So now we're going to do the desktop. So if you're worried about something moving, simply hold your finger on it so it doesn't move. So again, lift and set. Now here's how you clean a keyboard, which is really important. Ta-da! So if you have the reg too wet, it could ruin the keyboard, but we don't have it too wet. Every single computer should be secure with a password protection. If you run across a computer that is not password protected, do not touch the keyboard any further. Leave it. They just don't get their computer cleaned. We can also leave a message for the company that, hey, that computer is not secure, therefore I can't clean it, but it's a risk for us because if we were ever accused of stealing or something and their computer was left unsecure, just let me know. I'll handle it if I need to, or just mind your own business, keep going. So medical spots, this is a good lesson to remember. When cleaning medical HIPAA violations, we do see them once in a while. It is not our job, it's not our job to police the company. You can let me know and I'll pass the word on if it's appropriate, but just mind your own business. You have no business reading a screen. In some of these places, you'll come into a room and a doctor or someone might leave an image up on the screen. Yes, it catches your eye because these are reading rooms sometimes and the room is dark. You come in, see this big image. Mind your own business. Don't even bother trying to look who's the person, what age are they, what's the problem. Just walk away. You can go ahead if you're upset about it, if it bothers you, shut the monitor off so that no one else walks in and leaves that poor patient open to a problem. You can do that or just walk away. Feel free to contact me anytime you have issues with that. I don't usually clean the mouse very often, but if I do, it's only on computers that are password protected. So now telephones, you're working your way around. Inevitably, you will call somebody. I've called many times. That's why I don't like my cleaners working in the middle of the night either, because you will call somebody at some point. I've had it many times, especially at clinics. We cleaned a place one time until, what was it? The place was open till 10 at night. My cleaner went in chronically at 3 a.m. because she must have hated sleep. But she would call accidentally. It hits redial, calling the doctors, waking them up in the middle of the night. Don't worry about it, just hang it up as fast as you can and don't work at 3 in the morning. We quit those jobs, we don't want to work like that. Phones, you just lift and set. Headsets, we see these everywhere. They're a little fiddly, so they come off like that and then they should magnetically snap in. Let's try not to have to mess with them, so leave them be. But when I'm cleaning here now, I can see back here there's lots of dust bunnies. So be aware, behind the computers are the dust bunnies. I do look there when I inspect. So I'm going to catch a couple now. And if you're the only one, see the dirt? If you're the only one cleaning an account, or you are the head person of your account, meaning you're the one that they're most, it is your responsibility to make sure all those spots are grabbed. It's not up to somebody else. So lightly going over the phone buttons is fine. And in some places, they don't have us dusting at all at their desks, just the common areas. So that is how you do a desktop. Don't forget the backs of the chairs. So every office chair, this one looks really quite good. But you'll see dead skin cells, dust on the back of a chair. If it helps you have a visual, it's usually dead skin cells. So go ahead and clean it. These fabric chairs, you can simply wipe down the chair. Again, you see how little product is on my rag. And then once in a while, we do have to reach down and do the bottom of the chair. So with the wet rag method, you get a better clean. This is what pulled us through COVID. This is what made us radically different than the rest of the cleaners in St. Cloud. Was they're just used to Windexing. That's all they are taught. But now you have a few methods to dusting. So I'm going to grab this door over here. I see some handprints on that. So just, again, you're cleaning with your eyes. Is there a spot on the wall? Is there a handprint on the door? Think about how the door is used. Logically, there would be some kind of need to wipe the handle. So watch for things like that, okay? Baseboards, tops of the panels like this, or an alarm code, you have to do the tops. If you're afraid of touching something, then stop. Don't violate that innate fear that you have. Pay attention to it, and then just ask your supervisor or myself. Okay, I think that sums up dusting pretty good. Don't forget kick plates. We tend to, you can use stainless steel, but we don't like using stainless steel unless we have to. So chances are this door has not been washed. I'm going to continue north and do the whole door. So can you see all the fingerprints? This probably the cleaner that comes to clean this building isn't seeing it in just the right light. Otherwise, he would have grabbed that. But this is really chronic. This is every day this building is used and cleaned. So I have my soap and water and go ahead and address that. You ready? And again, it's not just about it's ugly, it's germs. We are the first line of defense against cold and flu and now COVID and every other illness. So before COVID didn't matter to us. We were fighting the cold and flu. Cold and flu takes out their employees from work. So it costs companies money when janitors like us don't do our job correctly. This is my sales pitch when I'm going around talking to these business owners saying, we were afraid of the cold and flu. That's why we do it this way. This is a much more thorough cleaning. OSHA says a product needs to sit on a surface for, I believe, like 10 minutes for it to really kill all the germs. This isn't going to stay on 10 minutes, I don't think, but can you imagine spray cleaning? It's not even on there a second. They just spray and wipe. There's no time to kill the germs. So that's why we're different. We're elite. We actually go the extra mile and protect people from things they can't see, which is germs. So while you're dusting, I'm continuing on through the room. My bucket is still way across the room because I have 8 sides. Don't forget things like where hands go. So if you're cleaning the glass, that's wonderful. Please do that. But don't forget the metal part, because a lot of us sane people, we use the actual handles and not the glass. So go ahead and wash the handles, and then once in a while you're going to need to wash the touch surfaces of that. Once in a while you're going to need to bend down and do the bottom of the window. Notice too that when I bent down, I learned this in PT, you want to counterbalance to not harm your back. Never do a dead drop like that because that pulls all of your back. There's lots of fun little ergonomics. It's really fun when you have feathers. And then don't forget the poor handicapped person who is stuck with the dirty buttons. So we want to clean all the handicap buttons. There's more inside. And then I'm going to do the crash bars too. Crash bar is what we call the door handles that have that Allen wrench that pops the lock in and out. So wash those down too as you go. You're also going to need to be able to, once in a while, do the baseboards. These vinyl baseboards get really dusty. Don't be trained just to look one area. Again, clean with your eyes. First, scan the room, see what needs it, what doesn't need it. That should sum up dusting. Like even, no, I keep saying that and I think of more stuff. I actually love dusting. It's an illness. Clint did a good job. That was a good test, Clint, and you passed.